Davening on Taanit Esther in the midst of a war. I want to share with you a very healthy debate, one l'shem shamayim, that's happening now in Efrat. So yesterday was one of those days where one of the amazing parts of Israel happens. A parade of school children parade to the school in their costumes, and then there's singing, and there's dancing, and there's carnivals, and all the rest of the things that go into the happiness of Purim, days before Purim starts. This is a very Israeli invention, because on Purim there's vacation, so in order for the school to celebrate Purim, they just make Purim a few days earlier in the school. One of the residents of Efrat, who I respect greatly, happened to be my history teacher in high school, posted that he thinks it's inappropriate. There's a war going on. There's hostages in Gaza. So Purim should be spent privately this year, not publicly. There shouldn't be public celebrations of Purim. And of course, on the other side, people said that A, if we do that, we're giving a victory to our enemies, and B, the soldiers are fighting for us to maintain routine. As I said, it's a machlokes l'shem shamayim. But it brought home to me what Taanit Esther is really doing before Purim. And I'd like to say it in the following words. Without the Mesirut Nefesh of the Jewish people, there wouldn't have been a Purim. Without Esther fasting for 3 days and putting her life on the line by going into Achashverosh's chamber unannounced, there wouldn't have been a Purim. Without the Jews being willing to fight on the day before Purim and having Jews fasting that day so that their fellow Jews be successful, there wouldn't have been a Purim. The prerequisite of Purim, or to be more precise, the function of Purim, is the ability of Jews to be putting their lives on the line on behalf of the Jewish people. And that's what Taanit Esther is doing before Purim. And allow me to prove it halachically. We have an ancient tradition, paskin by the Rambam at the end of his Hilchot Purim, that these days of Purim will never be canceled. In the time of Mashiach, various things will change, but Purim will always be on the calendar. That means not just Purim, but even Taanit Esther. Namely, Taanit Esther is a package deal with Purim. As it says in the Megillah, Lekayem et divrei yemei Purim ha'eleh, you want to fulfill and ensure that Purim will always be. And at the end of that pasuk it says, just like Mordechai and Esther did, just like their children afterwards did, Divrei hatzomot veza'akatam, the days of fasting and the days of davening. Therefore, I've never educated my under bar mitzvah children or under bat mitzvah children to fast on any of the fast days except for Yom Kippur and Taanit Esther. I believe that the fasts of Shiva Asar B'Tammuz and Tisha B'Av and Tzom Gedalia and Asar B'Tevet Be'ezrat Hashem will become holidays, so there's no reason to educate them towards it. When they become bat mitzvah, they'll have to fast it, then they'll have to fast it, unfortunately. But Taanit Esther and Yom Kippur will always be on the calendar, and therefore it's a good idea to educate them, slowly but surely, to fast on those days. This is the year where we have to be happy on Purim on one condition, that we acknowledge the Mesirut Nefesh of our soldiers fighting in the field. If we acknowledge it before we eat our Seudah, if we acknowledge it before we drink a L'chaim, if we acknowledge it before any happiness comes into our homes and our communities, then indeed we're celebrating Purim correctly.